The Rangers keep taking care of business. This is the Roundup. What is going on, Ranger fans? Ho, ho, ho! What a week and what a week ahead of us that we have. Oh, if you're not excited, you're not living. You know what I mean? This has been the most exciting baseball that a Rangers fan has been able to enjoy in a very, very long time. And it just keeps putting a big smile on my face. Let's recap last week and let's talk about what is coming up this week, along with some crazy stats. I mean, some of them are just unbelievable, to be honest. All right, going back to Monday. Rangers went to Detroit to take on the Tigers. I said the Lions like 30 times last week, and I apologize. They went to Detroit to face the Tigers. The Tigers. They had 3 games up there, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Rangers start off with a 5-0 dusting on Monday, then give them a little chin music to a 10-6 win, and then they fall in the late innings. I'm pretty sure we were live on Strikeout Beer watching this game. Tigers pull off the win, the upset, 3-2. Then, day off for the Rangers, a little bit of rest. Came back home to Arlington, take on the Mariners. Mariners come to town. They get dusted 2-0. Then a little extra loving on the, Saturday night, 16-6. I mean, that was a wild game to watch. Just runs after runs after runs. I mean, these double-digit wins, these double-digit games are just getting out of hand. And then to finish off the weekend, Sunday afternoon, Rangers pound the Mariners one more time, 12-3. You know, we could go into box scores and look at this, but it was just a beating all the way around. Rangers doing phenomenal. Now, up this week could be a little bit challenging. We'll talk about that more. They will be at home for most of the week, and then they're going to host the St. Louis Cardinals for 3 games, and then they're out of town going to face those dreaded Tampa Bay Rays. But let's just take a look at some of the crazy stuff that's going on. Right now, the Rangers they have the most runs with 376 runs in the MLB. Not the AL, not the AL West, MLB. They have the most hits, 563. Real quick, let's trot back to the most runs. 376, like I mentioned. The closest is the Rays at 355. 355. Most hits, the Rangers, 563. The closest are the Jays at 555. They're third in doubles. I don't know why that came out weird. They're third in doubles with 125. The leader of the Bo Sox at 134. Rockies at 133, so they're very close. Now, triples, they're tied for 14th. They got 8 of them. 9th in home runs with 77. They are with the most RBIs right now, 362. The closest, the next up is 339, Tampa Bay. Now, they have the highest batting average, 278, the highest OBP, 345. They're third in slugging at 461, and second in OPS at 806. If that's not a wake-up call, here's one. Get your butt out there. Go to MLB.com and vote all of your Rangers into the All-Star game. The whole damn team should be in the All-Star game. It's unbelievable. I can't remember the last time that the entire team was freaking awesome. You should be excited, because I am. Excuse me so much. All right, so let's do some individual stuff real quick. MLB, the RBI leaders through 58 games. Garcia's at 51. You have Simeon at 47. Heim at 46. And this just happened over the weekend. I'm pretty sure it was Saturday night when this happened. I don't think it was Sunday. But Bruce Bochy slid into the 10th spot, all-time managerial wins, 2,041. Unfreaking believable. Big shout-out to Bruce Bochy. He's been doing phenomenal work since he got here. Love him as a coach. He's getting it done. You know, Evan Grant, and I meant to mention this earlier too. Evan Grant tweeted the Rangers have scored 376 runs in 58 games, gone 14-5 against the AL West this season, and have outscored opponents by 152 runs. 152 runs. Where the hell are all these bats coming from? And of course, we have to mention the 10-plus game or the 10-plus scoring games. The Rangers right now have 16 games where they've scored 10 runs or more, which is tied for the most by any team within the first 60 games over the last 100 years. Last 100 years. Sink that in. 1936 Yanks and the 1999 Mariners. Unfreaking freaking believable. And along with that note, with the 16 10-plus scoring, 10-plus run games, the closest team to them, it's actually 2. The Rays and the Cubs. And they're tied at 8. They've doubled up the next freaking teams that are closest to them. It's bonkers is what it is. And, of course, we got runs scored this season. Simeon at 54 leads the league. Garcia at 47, Lowe at 43, and Young at 42. Woo! Now, RBI's 51, and it's tied between the Stros, Alvarez, and, of course, the Rangers, Garcia. Phenomenal. I mentioned that earlier, but I just wanted to say it one more time. Let's take a look at the games and what we got coming up this week. As I mentioned, we have the Rangers hosting the Cardinals. Let's look at the Cardinals real quick. They are 25-35 with a win percentage of .417. They're 7.5 games back on the Brewers in the NL Central. They're dead last in the NL Central. 12-16 at home, 13-19 away. Last 10 games are 3-7. Now, if you go and look at the actual games, oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. I'm already losing my mind, people. It's there. It's in my head. Driving me crazy. Now, if you go back and look at, say, the last handful of games that the Cardinals been involved with, they're all low-scoring games. There's an exception here where there was 7 runs scored, 12 total. Let's call it 12 total runs. 12 total runs here, but everything else is really 7 and under. I mean, the Reds got to double digits on them back on May 24th. I mean, the Cardinals are just not what they were once were. And they just got swept by the Pirates. I mean, it's just trouble. It's trouble for them. Not really too concerned about it, but those are the games that I lock in my head as, hey, we're at home. We should probably be concerned. They're probably not going to sweep them. Let's be honest. They're probably not going to get that sweep in, but I see the Rangers winning 2 out of 3 games. Mark it down right now. They go 2-1 against the Cardinals. Then, you want to test the team? You want to see who's the best? The Rangers are going down to Tampa Bay Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's after a Thursday travel day. You want to beat the best, or you want to be the best? You got to beat the best. And the Rays are the best right now, but their lead has been slowly being chipped away. Rangers only 4 games behind them. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Now, the Tampa Bay, where is it? The Rays, 42-19, 689 win percentage. They are the number 1 team in the AL. Not just AL East, but the AL. 26-6 at home, which is very concerning considering the Rangers are heading there. 16-3 away, 6-4 in their last 10 games. Now, if you go and look at the last handful of games, actually dissect it a little bit, they've lost a step. They really have, but they still play great at home, but they don't sweep. They don't sweep at home. They usually cough up a game or 2, and they just had trouble with the slight problem with the Red Sox. They went up to Boston. They captured 2 out of 3, but the Cubs put it on them. Now, the Cubs won 2 out of 3, and they kept the hits down, kept the run scoring down. You're talking 1-0, 2-1, 4-3. So not a lot of action in those games. I think with them at home, because that's a tough road game. You go to Chicago, then you head up to Boston. They're back at home. We'll see how it kind of goes out. If I had to make my pick, which I will make my pick, I got a terrible feeling that the Rangers only win 1 game. They don't get swept, but I have a feeling they win 1 to 2 games, and I'm leaning more towards 1 because I want to be realistic. I'm not being negative, but I am a little pessimistic when it comes to a good thing, right? You're having too much fun, it turns into an S show, and all hell breaks loose. I should let you know that the Rangers are 38-20 with a .655 win percentage, 19-8 at home, 19-12 on the road, which I like very much. 8-2 in their last 10. I usually talk about that at the end, and guess what? We're at the end of the show. But let's go ahead and talk about some injuries real quick. Let's see. Ezekiel Duran was activated from the IL, and the utility player man, baseball man, Ribby. Let's see. Brad Miller, he's got a strained right oblique, so he's placed on the 10-day IL. No timetable. It's TBD. We'll see how it goes. Mitch Garver's back. He was activated from the injury list 2 days ago, and he's back with a bang, baby. And I think he was the DH for the Sunday's game. So he's been DHing. You got to keep Jonah Heim in the lineup. He's on fire. Listen, they're doing great. I'm not trying to sell them short. I don't want to talk about how the negative, but it's the Rangers. There's a damn good chance they'll break your heart, but they're playing such great baseball right now. They're so much fun to watch. And, after this series, they'll come back home for a pretty good they'll be at home all following week, hosting the Angels and hosting the Blue Jays. So that'll be good for them because, listen, the AL West, let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. I just gave you all the Rangers stats, but let's go Astros. Astros are 35-24 with a .593 win percentage. Angels 31-30, .508. Mariners are 29-30, .492, excuse me. And Athletics are 12-49, .197. The Stros are 3.5 games back. At this point, they're the only ones you really have to watch out for. And the reason I say that is, they always seem to put a bunch of wins together. Their last several games, they're 7-3. Their last 10 games are 7-3. They get business done on the road. They handle work at home. They never really ever just go away, right? They win games that they need to win. And so that's who you're actually competing with. You're competing against the damn Astros. The Angels could get hot. Yeah, sure. They're 8.5 games back. The Mariners 9.5 games back. Athletics are in the cellar 27.5. But that's the team you have to worry about. That's why you have to get these wins in. And this is a tough week for the Rangers. They have to walk away with at least one. I mean, it'd be great if they had 2 wins against Tampa Bay. But in all seriousness, let's get the dubs against the Cardinals and try our best for the Tampa Bay Rays, okay? Now, looking at the overall AL, like I said, the Rangers are in second place at 38 wins, Rays 42. The next closest team is 37. That's the Orioles. Everybody else is kind of just, keeping pace. No one's really technically fallen apart from the last time I looked at this list. Let's flip over to NL just for S and giggles. You know what I mean? There's a couple 35-win teams. You got the Dodgers and the Braves. They're in first place of the West and the East. And then the Brewers at 32 in the NL Central. So, I mean, you flash over to the American League, and it just gives you all those who's going to win, who's going to make it to the playoffs, who's going to proceed to the playoffs, and who's going to win the World Series. Long way away, but here we are in June. I told you to take it easy. Don't get too excited in April. I said, hey, in May, let's just take our time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And now, hey, baby, we're a month away from the All-Star game. Let's get these Rangers into the All-Star game. Let's keep winning. Let's keep just freaking keeping the bats going. I didn't even talk about pitching. We'll talk about that later, maybe on Strikeout Beer, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, because it's been great. Phenomenal. You know what? I'm out of here. I'm done. Have a great week, and let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers!
Thanks for listening to Roundup.